Whenever you're ready.
Hello, fellow shades. We're your host, Sean Wing, kinda clever. And we're back at this.
Yep. Back to this game. Now,
So,
we just beat the laboratory. I think this may be our shortest series, depending on how quickly I can whip everything's ass here.
that is true. Because Portal was only 4 episodes long, so if you can finish
Four
this
episodes.
if you can finish this actually that's not true then. You would have had to finish it in 3 episodes, so this will be tied for your shortest. If you
It's
were
not
to
very
complete
likely I'd
today.
beat this in 4 episodes. Wait.
So
Alright.
did you hear how the new Zelda game's gonna be $70?
70. Yeah, I did hear about that, but I really didn't want to believe it.
Yeah. I found out about when I was watching this guy called Arlo, because he does quite a bit of Nintendo
Yeah,
news.
Arlo.
Yeah, and he was
Yeah,
talking
he's
about
the puppet.
yeah. You mean Muppet. Anyway.
Well, kind of. What's the difference between a Muppet and a puppet?
Well,
It's technically the same, right?
no, I'm sure there is a
A
difference, but
Muppet is
honestly,
a
I
form
don't
of
know.
puppet.
Did
That's
you know
probably
that
like
every
associate-
raven is a,
Macy's!
Did you know that every raven is a crow, but not every crow is a raven?
No, but I do know that ravens are possibly one of the most intelligent creatures next to humans.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I think you told me that. I'm pretty sure when I said raccoons were the smartest.
Oh,
If it wasn't raccoons, it was like probably dogs, I think. No, it wouldn't have been dogs. I would have
Right.
said raccoons.
Dogs are really stupid. So, no. But also honey badgers. Honey badgers are really smart. If you want to like learn a bunch of really cool like animal facts just at random,
Yeah.
a person I would recommend looking up is Casual Geographic.
Oh, okay.
It's a play on National Geographic, obviously,
Uh,
but he's
you know you could
he's
twirl
really
into
good
those,
at
right?
putting it. Yeah. But
Oh, no, you
bugs
can't.
ugly
Okay.
at things.
I didn't realize it didn't let you get the
Right.
apples from it. I thought it did still. I was like, well, why don't you just do it the quicker way?
Right.
After all, you gotta finish this in 27 minutes, so I mean... Anyway. So, continuing from last time, I've got one last military story. So, apparently 2 former employees of the Sussex Manufacturing Corporation revealed in 2006 whistleblower lawsuit that between 1994 and 2006, the company had been shorting the quality of the Kevlar in more than 2 million combat helmets sold to the Pentagon. Sussex didn't contest the charges and in February 2008 agreed to pay $2 million to settle the dispute. According to a February 18, 2008 article in the Air Force Times, while the Pentagon was still investigating whether the lighter threading in the Kevlar was endangering U.S. troops, the Air Force nonetheless contracted with Sussex to produce new Kevlar combat helmets. And apparently one last quote says, in 1989, Congress supplied the Pentagon with $49,000 to discover if members of the armed forces would spend money on military lottery tickets.
A bit weird.
Whoa! gosh. The idea that
Oh, come
wow.
on.
So that that definitely was not worth the risk. Sussex was just like, hey, you know, we're a little bit short in supplies. It's like, I'm
No.
sure it's fine. And it's like,
I'm sure it's fine.
And it's like a month later, it's like, oh no.
Just take the lottery. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, no. But that was the last of military stories.
All
So, give me another letter.
Let's go good old J.
J, okay. Alright. I think you're gonna like this one. It's Justice.
Alright. Justice. Are we talking Justice Department? Uh-oh.
There's a couple of Justice stories, so...
Okay.
Oklahoma...
There's so many forms of it.
Oklahoma rapist Darren Benolford Anderson received a 2,200-year sentence in a Tulsa court in 1994, but was awarded a new trial. Things didn't work out as Anderson had hoped, however, and during the 1996 trial, he was resentenced, and an additional 90 centuries was tagged onto his sentence, making his term...
What the fuck did he do?
Making it... Or he was a rapist.
Well, I mean, but... Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot.
But anyway, and...
oh my God.
Making his term a total of 11,200 years, 4,000 for the rape, 4,000 for the sodomy.
I don't think...
Sodomy? I've never heard that word before.
Sodomy. That's...
S-O-D-O-M-Y.
It's sodomy, but I forget what it means.
Yeah,
I know it's really fucked up and gross. I know it's gross.
Like, when I think
but
when I think of lobotomy, I think lobotomy, like when you like cut someone's brain out or something, right?
Right. Well, that's autonomy.
Oh, okay.
Not lobotomy. Yeah, it's not lobotomy.
But anyway.
Alright.
And...
Right.
1,700 years for kidnapping, 1,000 years for burglary and robbery, and 500 for a grand...
I think sodomy...
For grand larceny.
Might be, larceny, right. I think sodomy might be, child porn and whatnot.
Oh, okay, I could see that.
I don't fully know.
Anyway, according
that's really gross. What is
according
this?
to a July 24th, 1997 article in the Dallas Morning News, Anderson got great news that year after the State Court of Criminal Appeals dismissed the grand larceny charges as double jeopardy on the robbery conviction, knocking 500 years off his sentence and speeding Anderson's release too.
Don't understand the idea of having a 500-year sentence. No one's gonna live that sentence out. That's not adding anything extra to the punishment.
And then, well, no, he said they were able to get rid of it. Like, he was able to lose the 500, you know?
Yeah, but still, why would someone have more than over 100 years on a sentence? It doesn't make much sense from a, like, how long we're all gonna live standpoint.
And it said that, and the last line was that, knocking out 500 years off his sentence, speeding Anderson's release to AD 12,744. And then one last quote says, in 1984, a Texas District Court judge sentenced a 31-year-old Hudson man to 35 years in prison.
You know what this feels like?
What?
This feels like I'm on true crimes, like one of those shows where they just constantly talk about old crimes that like just old men like listen to for no reason other than to just hear about old crimes that happened. That's what it feels like I'm listening to. Okay?
Yeah. The quote continued on to say the Houston man to 35 years in prison for stealing a 12-ounce $2 can of Spam.
Spam?
Yeah.
Why would you want that, first off? Like, it's mediocre at best.
I love that he was... I mean, I know it's still stealing nonetheless, but the idea that he still got 35 years for Spam, like, it's like, God, you
really
did such a disservice to this person. It's like, the person's like, I actually wasn't a big fan. They did me a favor, if anything else.
Alright, got them all.
Like, but anyway, the next one has a small quote before it's saying, Gilbert Franklin Rhodes.
Oh my gosh.
Rhodes, convicted of first-degree murder, was sentenced to serve the rest of his natural life in New Mexico's Department of Corrections, followed by 2 years parole.
2 years of parole?
Yeah.
Doesn't really make sense to add 2 years parole to someone who's sentenced to life.
Yeah. You will
don't
live out
really
your life in
understand
prison,
our-
but, you know,
Oh my.
you need to make a living, too, after that life, you know?
You know, yeah. Oh! You know
Yeah,
that,
there is a Tommy
one,
gun.
Yeah, you know that in New York, it's, illegal to commit die?
To commit die? What do you mean it's illegal to commit
suicide.
die? Oh, okay.
I meant
To
suicide,
game it
but,
yourself.
you know.
Okay. Sorry, I was like,
Yes.
hold on, what do you mean? Are you saying that if someone gets murdered, they'll get, like, they're breaking the law?
What?
You stepped away from the
No,
chair.
if they commit suicide, it's against the law, and it's punishable, get this, by death.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
The next justice story says, Joseph Shepard, senior, I think? what does SR stand for? Senior, I think? Or sir? I'm trying to
Yeah.
think. Anyway. Senior, stayed in St. Louis, stayed in a St. Louis area lockup for more than 2 years, confident that his lawyer, Michael Kelly, was working hard to get him released on bond after his arrest on drug charges. According to a September 2nd, 2008 article in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, Shepard's lawyer hadn't done anything in 2 years. Shepard seemed naively excited when a reporter looked into his case and petitioned. Petitioned for his release after the reporter told Shepard he would soon be released. Shepard replied, "If I just sit here long enough, something's going to happen." 3 days later, federal judge Carlson Jackson released Shepard and chastised Kelly. Oh, I love that idea. It's like the reporter's like, "We're gonna get you out of here, because you're not supposed to be in here." And he's just like, "You know, if I sit here long enough, something's gonna happen." Like it's like, yeah, that's a true statement. Something will happen. That is a guarantee.
Yes. By most technicality. Okay. Okay.
I gotta say that Shadow is saving your life. Oh my gosh. As soon as I say the Shadow is saving your life, you literally overshoot
Saving your life.
it.
I fucking...
Anyway, the next story says the highest bail ever set was on Jeffrey Marsh, Jean Mercado, Yolanda Kravitz, and Alvin Kravitz, who were accused of armed robbery on October 16, 1989. The presiding judge, David L. Taubin, and the four defense attorneys at the Dade County Courthouse in Miami, Florida, set their bail at $100 billion. $100 billion for their bail.
$100 billion.
I was gonna say in 1989. I don't even think anyone. I kind of want to Google it. Did anyone have even $50 billion in 1989? That was when it was set.
I mean, 1989 is when Monopoly started to reappear.
I guess, okay, I can see that.
It wasn't really a commonality, though, by any means. Like, that was when trust funds and all sorts of stuff was still, like, going crazy. Or not trust funds, what was it? Or, like, antitrust, that was it. And, that was keeping a lot of stuff safe. Like, hold on, what the fuck?
Maybe you have to go back?
What am I supposed to do there? Like, I don't know.
I think you have to go to the... I don't know. Because if you go... I think you have to do halfway of the top and then do halfway of the... And then do all the way of the bottom.
3, 4, 5, 6...
And then, yeah.
No, damn.
Nope, that's not gonna work. I'm not sure then.
I'm
gonna continue reading. So in 2003, Michael Peterson was convicted of murdering his wife with a fireplace poker and sentenced to life in prison after a 14-week trial in Durham, North Carolina.
No! I figured it out.
But Peterson's former neighbor, Peterson's former neighbor, Larry Pollard, is convinced that the jury was wrong. He believes Mrs. Peterson was killed by an evil owl. According to an August 21, 2008 article in the Rail News and Observer, Pollard was supplied volumes of information about owls to support his theory, but admitted the investigators had found no feathers at the scene of the crime. The state of the Bureau of Investigation eventually disclosed that they discovered one microscopic feather on a clump of hair found on Peterson's hand. The feather has been found, exclaimed Pollard. Investigators hypothesized that the feather, however, is simply an insignificant particle of the household down.
I see.
I
Probably
can.
because I don't want to admit
I
that
gotta
wrong,
admit,
but you know.
either way, like, it's not like an owl's gonna hold a fire poker. I'm just saying, like, if they know that the fire poker is the thing that did her in, it's
Fuck.
not like.
Did
It's
her
not.
in? It's not likely that
You
the owl
know.
did it. Just saying.
I don't think an owl could carry a fire poker unless if it was like a mini one, because like they can pick
I
up
don't know.
some big
Owls
things,
are
but not like
aliens.
metal. Like metal is, especially at that large of metal, like, because you know how long fire
don't
pokers
know.
are normally are. I don't think it can hold it.
I do. I think it could, depending on the owl. Fucking owls
I guess
are
it's true.
terrifying.
I guess depending on the size
Like,
and what
owls
it's
are
used to.
owls are usually, well, at least around here, are usually pretty fucking big. So I don't know.
According to a July 12th, 2008 article in the in Montan Times and transcript, an unarmed guest at the Delta
I found the
Betkuzua.
We're here.
Oh, okay. At the
At the hard level.
Betkuzua
Alright.
hotel in maybe it's Monica. No, I don't think so.
Montenegro?
Montesi. Like Moncton.
Yo! Wait, what was it?
Moncton.
T-O-N.
Monseton? I don't know
I'd
a
have to
place
see
called
it.
that. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna call it Monteton. So, in Monton, New Brunswick, had
I'm just dumb.
continuously postponed a court date. He decided he would be a no-show again and asked the concierge to inform the judge of his absence. When the concierge returned, he told the guest that the judge wished to inform his client that he had been found guilty on all counts.
No! I didn't see it.
I love the fact that he's like, you know what? I'm just not gonna go. Like, he's like, you know, can we push off until next week? Ah, man, my tooth really hurts. Can we push off three more days, you know?
I don't
And then
wanna
he's
die,
like, you know, I'm just not gonna go. And then it's like, the concierge comes back and tells him, hey, by the way, the judge said that you were found guilty. It's like, oh.
Okay, made it past the first part.
So in May 1995, this is like a little small quote. Leon Taylor, convicted of murdering a man during a 1994 robbery in Kansas City, Missouri, was sentenced to death plus life in prison with an additional 115 years tacked on. It's so idiotic. You do get the idiocy of that, right? Sentence.
Wait, say it again.
So this guy who had murdered someone in a robbery was sentenced to death plus life in prison with an additional 315 years tacked on. He was
Makes sense to me.
He was sentenced to death, and then immediately, and then was like, and then like, you know what, death isn't bad enough for you. You also need to go to prison. It's just like, huh?
No, I refuse to die like this. I died like that.
Just the fact that it's like. It's not like it hurts. It's not like it helps anyone. It's like after their death, it's like, yeah, could you tack on a few years? I feel a little bit hurt by him. It's like that doesn't do anything. It's like, could you imagine what they did? They just like put his body in a prison cell for 115 years or 315 years. That would just be like, why?
That's the same logic. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You are right. It's pure idiotic, and it's a waste of time.
Alright, that's all the J stories, because Justice was the only one that has a J. So what's the next letter?
Actually, let me ask you a question.
What?
What is your... I probably asked this before, but what is your opinion on the Nordic, especially Norway's prison system?
I don't know about, so... non-base.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. I guess I should have expected that. But the main idea behind Norway's prison system is it still keeps them in cages and as prisoners, but it gives them stuff like TVs, rooms, and whatnot. It gives them full-on human necessities.
Yeah.
But the thing is, especially here in America, that's just probably seen as crazy as shit, you know?
Well, I mean, I can kind of understand it because, like, I mean, if you had a full setup, sure, you would be stuck to doing some work, but I mean, you wouldn't have to pay rent, you wouldn't have to worry about making money, you could just, it would just be like a hotel you don't have to pay for, you know?
Exactly. The idea is you're still trapped, you're still a human in a cage. But the idea that it's more humane is the idea.
Okay.
The fact that it's not treating humans like animals. But in America, that's somewhat seen as like a bit crazy, because it's like they're prisoners. But at the same time, even prisoners, monsters as they may be, are still human.
I could see the logic, because it's the question of what's the downside of being in prison if they have all the, like, let's say they had like an HD flat TV, like just as an example, I don't know if they do, but you know, if they had all these luxury items, it's like it comes into the question of what's the point of prison, you know? It's just an inexpensive for the people. It's an inexpensive hotel.
Well,
that taxes the location, you know? That's what at least that's how I just straight up see it, like, but but then again, I've never been related to, like a crime where it's like, oh, you know, if my family's been attacked or something, you know? Like, if someone's family's been personally attacked, I can see how they could have more problems, because obviously, they're like, you know what, they don't deserve that flat screen TV. Obviously, they're gonna have more conflictions with that. Mine's just based on logic, because it's like, well, if it has all these nice amenities, what's the downside of prison? Sure, you're stuck there, but I mean, at least you have like all these nice things. It's like it might as well be a hospital, but better, because the hospital doesn't have HD TVs, you know?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. The punishment in itself is that you're still a human in a cage, and the idea is the prison is to keep the dangerous people kind of inside, and a great way to do that is to give them no reason to ever want to leave.
Now you gotta wait. He's gotta respawn, right? Or you just... Okay, I was gonna say.
Yes.
It's like, could you bet you just did not respawn and you were... yeah, I did. Okay, there you go.
Alright, I fucking made it back to where I was forever ago.
So... But yes, I had not heard that. I was honestly thinking you were gonna go somewhere else, because you had brought up a thing you wanted to ask recently, and I thought you were gonna go to that, and but then when you brought up the prison, I was like, wait, what? What are you talking about?
Well, nah, it was just the fact that you brought up justice reminded me of that.
Oh,
and
okay.
I feel like that is an odd sense of things, but it does its job as, you know, a prison kind of really good.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's something I haven't mentioned about it is I'm pretty sure the reform rate of prisoners who go into this kind of system, since they're not literally beaten, like, oh, let me beat the crime out of you, because that makes sense. but American strategy. But
Mhm.
no, it really, it's more of just like more people are coming out of that system reformed. So I feel like that's just a better system based on that
Yeah.
alone.
But
Oh
my,
God, I'm sorry. I had to
but yeah, no,
concentrate.
you're fine. But yeah, I could definitely see where people have issue with it, where it definitely, and just from a point of view of like, why do they have, how much money is being put into this prison for people who everyone hates, you know?
Well, it's not about if you hate them or not. It's the idea of, well, they're still human, even if you do hate them,
Oh
and
no,
beyond you hating
I
them,
definitely see it has
it keeps
merit.
them. It keeps
I definitely see it
right.
has merit. It's
It
just
keeps
more
them
of a,
there.
but I could also see the argument on the other side of, you know,
Oh
why are we,
yeah.
yeah, you know, non-forgiving, why are we trying to give
Like,
these people that ruin their own lives a chance to come back, you know? At least that's how I could definitely
well,
see an argument going.
that I 100%. I don't agree with that at all. I
No,
believe everyone
I
should
would
have a
not
chance.
either.
It's, but it's a question of like, is that a good reform, like a way to reform people and make them better? Is that a good way to handle a punishment? I as well. Like, is that a
Mm,
punishment? Is the main argument I see against it.
yeah,
And in my opinion, yes, still technically it is a punishment. Because no matter how good you still have it, you are still in a single cage. You're in a room.
yeah,
No matter how nice that room is, that does deteriorate on anyone.
yeah.
And at least
But,
when they do come back out, it's slightly better.
yeah. Um,
That's how I see it.
so do you think you're gonna get to the end of this level here in a second?
No!
Nope. Alright,
No.
hey, you wanna go ahead and pause then, and we'll do an outro?
Yes, because this level sucks ass.
Alright. If you enjoyed the video, do that stuff on the screen. If you thought any of those stories were funny and you want to tell your other friends, the book is called S is for Stupid. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So I'm sure you could find that somewhere.
I'm losing
But
my,
although
losing my
honestly,
fucking
this book
mind.
is kind of old. Like I think I had this. When did I get this? Let's see. I think it was a few years back. So honestly, there might be a better version of this, but this is what I have. So anyway, we'll see you next time, Fell Shades.